Oh, hello again. As always, caught me with a cup of tea in my hand, or a cup of some coffee this time. At the moment I'm at Culzean Castle Camp Site. It's halfway between Girvan and Ayr and just inland from Maybole. Culzean Castle's behind us, where Prince Charles lives when he's in Ayrshire. It's run by the Caravan and Camping Club, and from what I can see it's well run, plenty of facilities. It's the poshest that I've been on so far, so I'm looking forward to a good couple of days here. Good mix of caravans and better tents, and I understand the behaviour will be a wee bit better than it is at some of the other sites that I've been on. My main reason for coming here was to have a wee go at the curry house in Girvan. Girvan's got a very good curry house, and so is Ayrshire. So I'm going to have a go at that. I've got a couple of new things. I've got a new sleeping bag finally turned up, so forgive blacks and millets for being slow. Oops, not meant to name them. Anyway, it's in there, I'll talk about it in the morning. But my main new thing is I've decided to give up on the petrol stove because it was stinking. I might still carry a wee bit of petrol for other things, but I've got this thing, comes in one of these orange containers. I've got to change it to 20 quid. It folds right down. It folds down to nothing. And it's meant to run off these. But I've got an attachment, and I can use ordinary cylinders. I've got a load of them lying about the house, some of them half used, so I'm going to use them up before I start using the big ones. It's a lovely wee thing. It's got one of these, I think it's got a pretzel. You can start it by pressing a button. You didn't need your lighter, but naturally, me being me, I've got my lighter inside. I've used it a couple of times so far, well, to make my coffee, and brilliant. Did it in no time at all, no fuss, no smell, no fiddling about. I've actually sold, but if I change it to 20 quid, I'm not going to argue. Anyway, I'm going to get everything all set up, and when it comes 6 o'clock I'm going to nip into Girvan for a curry. Tomorrow I'm going to have a good wander about here, and maybe go into Ayr, and hope there's not a repeat of the last time I was in Ayr. Those who know me well know the story. Anyway, I'll see you later. Good morning. It's that time again. Shortbread. Wakens me up in the morning, and any other time. Well, it was quite an interesting night last night. It rained heavily, and I mean it bucketed down, and there was a high wind. It was great. This tent held up, no bother, and it looks like everybody else has survived. It's what, 6:30, and there's very few moving about. This sort of sight last night, everybody was in their beds by 11 o'clock. I had fallen asleep, and I woke up and went out to use the facilities, and not a person about. Really quiet, and it's mobbed. I went into Girvan last night. Got a curry house there called, I think it's the Jasmine. I live about 40-50 mile away from here, and everybody raves about this curry house. Well, it was a good curry, but it was nothing absolutely fantastic, but it was good. But then again, it's probably the best place to get curry about here. it was alright. I had a very good curry. The Girvan itself, though, when I moved to this area about 12 years ago and was looking for a house, you know, Girvan was starting to go downhill a wee bit, and you know, charity shops in the main street and all that. But I'm afraid now there's no charity shops. Well, there's the usual local thing, but there's hardly any shops in the place now. There's more food shops than ordinary shops. There is an Asda, but I went there to stock up before I came here, and I've got to be honest, it wasn't that well stocked. There was a lot of holes in it. It's a shame because I really like Girvan. It's a nice wee place. And as I say, the curry house isn't bad. But on the way out, it's a one-way system, so I had to pass the chip shop at the harbour. There's two chip shops. There's one up at the car park and one at the harbour. The one at the harbour is meant to be fantastic. Jesus God, there's easily 40 folk outside, standing outside, waiting to get in. It was bloody mobbed. So, anyway, let's see what we got up to today. Oh, no bad day. Had a nice wee meal there. One of these army ration packs, sweet and sour thing. And now I'm having a cigar and a coffee. Look at that extra smooth coffee. Tastes good as well. I went into Ayr today. Used to go to Ayr when it had bottlings. Mind you, that's nearly 50 years ago. It's a great place. The next time I went there was 4 or 5 years ago to buy a suit. It's the nearest place to where I live. I was pretty disappointed with how it had been run down a bit, and beggars in the street, chuggers, if you care what they are. Oh aye, I got accosted with a lady in the night. So Ayr has never been my favourite place, but I went in this time open mind. First thing I hit's a chugger, a wee bit more upmarket. The beggars are everywhere. Police Scotland are really making an arse of it. Shouldn't really say that, but it's true. You couldn't get through the city centre for beggars and being folk coming up saying hello, can I see you, and this sort of thing. I wasn't impressed. Definitely not. I was just wanting to go around the shops, had a look in the camping shop and what have you. Couldn't find a decent place to get something to eat. The places looked a wee bit rough. In fact, the whole place looked rough. Again, this must be because of this problem with this COVID. Like I said, Girvan's run down a bit. Yeah, definitely run down. In the end, I went into Morrison's, had an all-day breakfast. That's my fallback, by the way, if I'm stuck. Go to a supermarket and get an all-day breakfast. So I came back here and I decided to try to go into the castle. Well, to go into the park or the estate. Gets to the bottom of the road for the campsite. God, they're wanting nearly 10 quid just to go into the grounds and park up. If you wanted to go into the castle, it was 18.5 quid. But a tenner just to go and park. No thank you. So I came back here and watched some. Oh, I charged up I got the solar panel and charged up my batteries. It took about just over an hour. And it was time for dinner. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Kevin, I didn't forget you. I'll see you next week, mate. Anyway, I'm going to settle down now, finish this coffee, and I'll finish the videos, and I'll get tucked up in my wee sleeping bag and have another braw night. See you later. Early morning, it's about 5:30. Nobody's about, so it's safe to do a broad sort of picture of the place. As you can see, it's packed. Every 10 metres there's another caravan, camper van or tent. Very well run, laid out place. Good morning. It's a broad day. I had a reasonable night's sleep. It rained through the night, but that didn't bother me. It wasn't as heavy as the night before. Anyway, I've got to get to breakfast and get made up and get home. It's been a good couple of days. This site, camping and caravanning site, they're really well run. I've never been on such a well run site. The type of person that's using it's different to every other camp I've been on. Or should I say every camp is different. This one, I was out about 10 o'clock last night and there wasn't a person around. They were all in their beds and I was up 5:30, not a person around. I spoke to one person, a client from Aberdeen, the back there. Her and her man's down roaming around. Yeah, they want to join this sort of club. I don't know what it is, but I don't use it enough. It's not really my style, but great place for families, definitely. Gets a thumbs up. This time I've been testing a couple of bits of kit, and as you know, I had a wander around the locality. I was not very well impressed. I'll be getting comments for that. But the two bits of kit that I got, I had the new sleeping bag, Eurohike Adventurer 300 XL. A normal sleeping bag's about 75, maybe 80 centimetres wide, and just not big enough for me. I had a wider one, but it wasn't warm enough. This one is 90mm wide. It's neither the traditional style or the cocoon. I don't like the cocoon. It's too tight. I've got one of the army cocoons. Excellent sleeping bag, by the way, but no for me. This one's near a traditional one. It's wider at the top, thinner at the bottom, but it's not a cocoon. And it goes down to comfort, say, to -2. Well, I got stripped off and slipped into it last night. I was as warm as a wee, it was like being in a wee nest. I'm quite happy with it so far. We'll see what like it is as the year goes on. But yeah, it gets a thumbs up. Another thing, as you saw, was my new cooker. 20 quid. Got a pretzel on the bottom. I think it's got a pretzel. it's a sort of an automatic start. You don't need matches, but it comes with the normal camping gas. You know, these big things that you can't always get. But with this, you could use these. Oh, look at that, rusty as hell. It's been lying about the house for about 10 years. But I got an attachment. The stove, as I say, I got to change it at 20 quid. And I spent about 3 or 4 quid for one of these. This means I can use the Coleman style camp gas, which you can't always get handy if you run out. But this wee adapter, it means I can use this stuff. It's a good wee stove. You've got to learn to use it. I had some bother at the beginning because I was turning it up too high to try to light it. Nearly blew myself up. Just turn it on a wee bit and away it goes. It's worth the money. I'll be using that in the future. And my petrol stove will get consigned back to the hut. And I'll give it away to somebody, one of the two. Now in itself, quite successful. I found everything I wanted to see. Found a nice wee site. I found this gears working. Again, my electric's held up. Got it quickly charged yesterday afternoon when I came back to Ayr. I definitely have no idea what I'm going to do next. I definitely don't need any more equipment. Well, I've ordered up one of these dog tethers, the wee spikes. I think I might bring my wee dog on one of these out, and she'd like this. There's dogs everywhere. I've had a few in my tent that I broke away. That's life. Anyway, I'll get myself sorted out, get everything put away. Here we wander down into Girvan again. But I think I'll go here via Stranraer. I'll here we look round Stranraer before I wander back. Anyway, no idea what I'm doing next, but you'll find out in a day. See you later.